What's happening, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening, guys? I'm just gonna share this link out quickly. Girls, I'm busy now. No. Yeah. I'm on a. Yeah, right, okay. Go outside. I'm busy now. One second, guys. I'm gonna start just now. Just edit this current one. Alright, so guys, just gonna share this live with everybody before we start. Alright, how's everybody doing? You guys well? Just go through the comments. Nishan, Aware, Byron, hi. Super Nev, how's it, bro? Good, your side. Audio lol, teacher, young bro. Hey, kids always want to jump in here. Leander says we good. How's it? Adil, how's it? Inshallah, a blessed week ahead. Yeah, how's it, guys? Tired? How's it? Good, man. Good. So yeah, let's quickly jump into some charts. I'm gonna be breaking down, the usual US 30, some indices, and we'll give you guys some of the levels we're looking at in this upcoming week. But yeah, just want to make sure we're on the right chart here. We've got Friday. Okay, so obviously month of January, we've had quite an amazing week, quite an amazing month, where we've caught some big moves during this month, most of which was bullish. If you looked at the order flow on current structure and the current markets, you will understand what transpired. So we'll start off on the weekly time frame. So if you're looking at the weekly, we've had a sweep or raid off liquidity down below here, which was pivotal for us, or most crucial for us. It was a level I was watching for quite some time, right? Okay, so remember, any sell that you see in the current market condition is only a retracement, because we are trading bullish structure, guys. We've been trading bullish structure since 2023. If you look at what has been happening, we have been forming higher highs and higher lows, right? Higher highs and higher lows. This was a retracement sell or a pullback to take some form of liquidity before we could rally up. By doing so, we tapped into that liquid area down here and we rallied. Okay, so whenever you see price pushing in such a manner, remember, price is not always going to push like this in one straight higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and so forth. It's not going to carry on moving in this manner. Price is more likely to run up, retrace, run up again, come back down, take out the higher low, to take out liquidity beneath that low, because there's stop losses for retail traders thinking they've caught the turn or the bottom. It's going to come back down, take out the liquidity, run up, trade higher, come back down again, trade higher, run up again, come back down, and then go up again. So by doing so, it generates more liquidity on its current leg up, which is what has been happening on the daily and the weekly time frame. In particular, this scenario is what we saw here. So if you look at this low that was swept, or even if you look at it from here, that was the higher low. The previous higher low, we had a sweep of that higher low. Same scenario happening up here. So which is why January, last couple of weeks, so these were the last couple of weeks, January was these 4 candles. So we were looking and anticipating buys. Am I still looking for buys at the moment? Yes, I most definitely am. And I'll tell you why now. Just want to remove these. So why I'm looking for buys is obviously because price does one of two things. It either runs for liquidity or runs to full imbalance. That's the only two motives of price. You know, people can say whatever they want to say, but we believe that there are only two motives to price, and that is 1, to either run liquidity, or 2, to full imbalance. In this case, we have now swept the liquidity down here, so we have run to full imbalance from the current leg, which was up here. This was your sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, right, which we call a SSFX, because price had rallied or left that area with imbalance, one end of delivery to the market. So one-sided delivery equals imbalance. We know that once price reaches its required liquid area, it's going to then reverse and fill that SSFX, right? So we ran up, filled into the SSFX. We can see that we now have that high as our next target, so we can mark out this high as our liquid. So we're anticipating a run up at some point into that liquid, and we have below this, so on this current price leg, we can see that we've got a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, which resides in that area, right? So that becomes our BSI, right? So, or in common terms, FEG, right? So we are waiting for price to retrace into that area before we can, see another move up. But this is on the weekly time frame, right? Ideally, yes, we'd like to see price retrace and perhaps take last week's low and then rally upwards, right? However, there are other areas in this price run or this delivery of price that we need to look out for on the lower time frame, such as the daily and the 15-minute. As it stands, we understand what we are looking at currently. We've taken the previous week's high up here. we could potentially see a small move down before another move up, right? So now we're going to take what we've seen on the weekly time frame, and we're gonna sort of move that over onto what the daily time frame is telling us at the moment. So daily, again, that was the area we were talking about, the SIBI on the weekly time frame, which we had a reaction of. I now can see that last week's low is sitting at this particular point here. That, however, was a tap into the daily FEG, which was sitting up here. So if you look at that area, we caught clean buys this week from that area. I think it was from Monday onwards we caught buys because of the fact that we had drawn into this particular area. That was our point of interest, and we basically wrote that up from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We caught that move up. On each day we basically looked at buys, but yeah, looking at it right now, that would be your internal range liquidity. We still need to run for external range up here. So I would ideally like to see price pull back down and take out Friday's low. We are quite close to Friday's low, so you want to see price take out Friday's low and perhaps run there to this low. If not, we would look at price taking out Friday's low and then shifting on the lower time frames for us, right? So 4 hours is going to give us a little bit more detail with regards to that. If you look at the 4 hour, this is what you need to draw your attention to, right? So on the 4 hour, this was the last higher low, right? We had an FEG that has now been tapped into, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency up here, right? And we have one lower. So that being Friday's low would become my immediate liquidity that I'm looking for. So I would like to see price tonight open and trade lower, right? Ideally, I want price to draw into this discounted level down here, right? So if you pull your fib from the low to the high, which is up here, you would need to see price draw below this low, which takes us into the discounted range below the 50. So anything below the 50 on a bullish impulse leg would be a discounted price point, right? So we're looking for price to draw down below that into the discount and then give us a shift. Now my point of interest in the discounted area is this one down here. So I want to see price do that. I would like to see price move up in this manner. That's what I want to see price do. I want to see us draw into this area, tap into that FEG down below and run higher. My target area would be that external range liquidity that's resting above. And I do believe after this, because this was created last year December, I do believe November, December. So I do believe that after we tap in here, we are going to see a run all the way back up to those all-time highs. And that is my call for US 30. I am pretty much looking for a move like this to take us all the way back to the all-time highs, which would be there. That's you're looking at about 11,000 pips of a move or 10,000 pips of a move, depending on where you catch it. But that is basically what I'm looking at on US 30. Any questions from you guys before we move on to maybe things like Nasdaq, gold, and so forth? I'm going to read the chat quickly. Tumaleng says best trader out there, you and Nev. Yeah, you already know it, bro. I mean, nobody doing it live like us. Nobody doing it with, and giving you guys nuggets along the way. Nobody does that. But yeah, hope you guys learn something from it. Okay, so there's no real questions. Good ideas to look for sells tomorrow, possibly. So you could possibly look for a sell tomorrow morning. But remember, if we've retraced into, so if we have retraced into that discounted area down here, I'm most likely going to wait for price to shift before we head up. So yes, sells tomorrow morning potentially. It all depends on where you see price opening up, guys. Remember, we can open up. We can probably open up here if need be. If price opens up here, then remember we're going to start trading higher. It's going to create more liquidity for us, and then come back down and then go up. So it depends purely on where price is going to open tonight. We can open lower or we can open higher. If we open higher, we're going to have to wait for another shift to take us lower into that area, ideally. Or if not, then we'll see the opposite. So we'd like price to trade lower, below Friday's low, or open up below Friday's low, and then move higher. Okay. So typically you want to see price set the low of the week or the high of the week in this case the low of the week in a bullish scenario. You want to see that being set in the first half of the week. So between the Monday and Tuesday, ideally you'd like to see the low being set, and then you get the move up. So if you look at last week, the low was set on a Monday, and the rest of the week continued its leg up. So just a guide. Monday, Tuesday typically sets the high or the low of the week. It can run into the Wednesday as well. So, but on a like 70-75% of the time, the first half of the week either sets the low or the high. You can back test this. You can go as far back as you want and test how it works. But yeah, that's typically what happens on indices. Okay, so Shaheen says XAU USD, please. Okay, cool. So we'll look at Nasdaq next, and then we'll get into that. So let's look at the Nasdaq. Where is that? All right. So Nasdaq. All right. Something interesting happened on what's this? Friday last week. So you know that we had that area up above that gap open on Monday's open. That was because of DeepSeek being released, and it's basically a competitor for ChatGPT and all these AI companies in the US. So what they've come out and said is that DeepSeek it took I think 1/10 the time to come up and build, and it also costed like a fraction of what ChatGPT and all these AI companies, Nvidia and whatnot, have basically costed to get their company up and running. So that being said, there was obviously a massive tank on Nvidia, a massive tank on the rest of the stock companies related to AI in the US. Hence why Nasdaq took the biggest hit last week. Opened up with a gap below. You can see we had about a 2,000 pip gap below, and then it just tanked the whole of Monday. And then throughout the course of the week, we had a rally up, right? And then filled into that imbalance. So that becomes the opening range gap. It's a type of imbalance. So we filled into the imbalance or the opening range gap and closed it, right? So we closed that on Friday and then had a bit of a sell-off. But technically, I'm going to run you through what needed to have happened here as well. So if you look at the weekly chart again, last week's low was sitting down here. So if you're considering the power of 3 and you know how the power of 3 works, you know that last week's low was down here. We had rated last week's low with that drop that occurred last week Monday, right? So that low was taken, pulled back into an inverse FEG. So we had flipped this FEG in this area and we came back in. We obviously retested that same area. So if you look at it, this is the area in question, and this is a strong area that's been holding. that candle came back and tested the same area. Okay, so if we go down to or before we go down, we'll look at last week's structure. We have the last week's high resting above here, so that immediately draws my attention. I would like to see that being taken at some point in the coming week, as well as last week's high, which remains untaken. So we have had a raid of liquidity here. We've held at this IFVG here, and we have now started rallying up. So if you look at the daily will tell you the same thing. So there we go. That was the opening range gap that I was referring to. We've come back, we've taken out all this liquidity, each day's low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we've taken out all that liquidity, right? And we have now pushed up. So targets or external range liquidity that I'm still waiting for would be up here, this one, and then that would be my next targeted area, right? That is another all-time high on Nasdaq, which I do believe price will return to. We've already had a major sweep of liquidity that was resting beneath these two relative equal lows, right? So we had a sweep that occurred there. We've now got a shift. So I'm going to mark this out for you guys here. You've got the sweep that occurred at that point. You've got external range liquidity there as well, up above. So that was the higher low. Remember the scenario I showed you guys earlier, where you got the higher lows being formed, right? Higher low, and then price comes back, creates this double bottom with more liquidity resting below, right? And then runs that same liquidity in that major point of interest on the weekly time frame, and then runs higher, right? By running higher, it now gives us a break of structure or a change in character. So that area becomes the change of character, or the BOS, right? So we're just going to label that as our break of structure up there. That becomes the BOS, and this is on the daily time frame, guys. So daily time frame, break of structure, and you also had a breakout of this trend line that had been forming. So we broke out. There's the last structural point that we broke out after the sweep of liquidity, right? And we pull back to retest the backside of that trend line, as well as tap into a small tiny little, if you look at it there, that was your buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, or bullish FEG. So let's put that. That would be your bullish FEG, right? At that area, notice how at this point the candles or candle bodies close above that FEG, right? That is crucial. That was crucial to us. So it was on Thursday, I think last week, or Wednesday, where I caught, I think it was Thursday, here, somewhere here, but I caught a solid buy up from that area because of the fact that, or it was Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere here, but I caught a decent push up because I understood that these two candles, their bodies, even though these wicks ran through this FEG, the important thing to note was that the bodies of those candles maintained above that level. That was very important to us. That meant that price was going to still continue up and fall into that opening range gap up here, right? So that was our opening range gap up there. Okay, so now what are we looking for this coming week? Again, I'm still looking for a run up. I want to see Friday's high being taken, and then that high up here being taken as well. Let's drop down to the 4 hour. So we look at the 4 hour. Okay, so on the 4 hour, we've had a drop on Friday. We'd need to see where there's imbalance or order block resting before we can anticipate a move up. So at this point, here we go, I can see it already. We have down here, we've got a 15-minute FVG that resides in this area. Here. Oh, what's going on with this thing? So we've got that 15-minute FVG up there, as well as this order block that sits in this area, right? So ideally, I would like price to come a little bit lower, just like I expected on US 30, and then give us a shift to go up. All right. We also have created, so if you look at this was Friday's low. You're going to see that at that point and this point, which was a low from a session on Thursday, we've had two sets of equal lows resting there. So that's liquidity sitting at that particular point. I want to see a raid into this area before a shift to go higher. So in both cases, Nasdaq and US 30, we ideally want to see price move lower first, give us a low, change of character, and then displace higher for the BOS to continue upwards. That's what I'm looking at on Nasdaq as well, guys. Yeah. The last one we're going to do is we're going to do some gold. Let's see. Let's just see the chat quickly before we move further. So Zaid, what technical indicators when making a trade do you recommend? I don't use any indicators, Zaid. Sorry, yeah, it's pure technical analysis. I don't use any indicators whatsoever. They do not form part of my trade plan. Okay, so FVG on top as well. Could we possibly see a buy first? Is this on Nasdaq, Mohammed Bayat, or is it on US 30? Which one are you referring to there? Okay, so for gold, let's look at what we're trading in. Gold is quite clear. It's been quite bullish, as you can see. Rated these last two highs, as well as the external range liquidity resting up here. So we had liquid up above in that area. Okay, so gold currently has done a sweep above, but we've now created another FVG. It's interesting because we need to see what happens for this week. I know we've got NFP as well, I think on Friday. I'm going to just double check that. Should be on the first Friday of every month, so it should be this Friday. If you look closely, you will notice that gold has been respecting quite well, guys. We've had an order block that was resting up here. So this was the order block resting here. We've had a tap into the FEG. We've had another tap into this FEG, and we rallied up, taken out this last high. We could potentially see a draw lower into that FEG again, and potentially another move higher. Remember, the trend is your friend, guys. There's no use trying to sell up here just because of the fact that, you know, you're seeing price as quite high or relatively high in the market, you know, and you're thinking that it must come down, like it must come down. No, that's not necessarily what will happen. We can still continue higher. So ideally, you would want to see price on the lower time frames again come into this area and give you a shift of structure at that point. So 4 hour is here. Looking at it, I would say price is more likely to draw into one of these areas. It's either that one or this one. It might potentially even drop there, come back up a bit, fill up some of the imbalance, come back again to that area, and then go up. So at this point, that would become your point of interest. I would be looking for somewhere in this range for price to draw into, you want to see, the reason I'm saying that is also because if you look at the last higher low to the current higher high, we have that area, which is your imbalanced area, reside within the discounted range of this price leg, right? So that to me looks like an area that you would want to get in on. You've also got additional confluence where if you pull that, you've got multiple touches on the same area, on the same trend line that has been holding the market for quite some time. So we would like to see price reject off this area and give you the shift and displacement of that same area before you can go long here. Okay, so that's basically my outlook on gold. And if you are going to take that from that area, you would obviously target liquid resting on that high. So we'll mark that out up here. That would be target 1. Target 2 would be your minus 27 level up above. So quite potentially you could reach 2837 as a potential target on this trade should we have a shift on the lower time frames off the backs of this discounted leg here on this fib. Okay, so that's basically that, guys. Let's see what the guys are saying. Tasveer, how do you identify an order block? That's in my course. I'm not going to touch on that right now. Maybe in another video some other time. But yeah, kicking it with JP. Why other South African trading mentors don't go live and trade? The ones that drive fancy cars and hey, you tell me. Guys are scared, or what's the story there? I don't know why the guys don't do that, but yeah. Keaton's Pranav says Keaton. Okay, I don't know. Okay, Luyanda looks. Are we going to take trades with you and your team tomorrow? NYSE live. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If we see something clean, maybe we'll go live again. I'm not gonna make it an everyday thing, guys. It will be like maybe 2 or 3 times in a week where I will go live with you guys. But yeah, the point of it is for you guys to learn as well. You know, we're trying to impart as much knowledge as we can, and we're trying to open up people's eyes to the fact that forex trading is real, guys. Like, you know, a lot of people got this notion of, oh, forex is a scam. Forex is like this. Forex is like that. But the truth of the matter is they're just too lazy to put in the time and the work that it required for them to excel in this. And then they start saying, oh, it's a scam, or this, or that. No, if you put in the time and you put in the work, you will make it work for you. So, yeah. Comlin says, brilliant explanation, Shaquille. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. How are you keeping, brother? It's been a long time since I chatted to you. Tahir Hussein, XRP thoughts. XRP, definitely expecting a move up. I'm still holding XRP on my crypto portfolio. Yeah, we're still bullish on, I would say bullish on all crypto, because obviously Trump is pro crypto. So I'm just holding, guys. At this point, it's just, you know, you invested some money there and just hold it, you know. Let's see, XRP I think did take a dive. Yeah, it did. So we have taken a dive, but we should still, I think, hold at this level here, because you have a 4-hour order block in that up here. So that's the 4-hour order block which we've just tapped into, and we've rated a low from last week. So I do believe that we would see another move upwards, guys. So any pullback is obviously a buying opportunity. Trump is pro crypto, so yeah, just wait it out. Thanks, Brew. Adil says, thanks, Brew, for your time and your knowledge. Always a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. I appreciate you guys joining and obviously taking the time out of your evening to attend these. So yeah, don't forget the mentorship. The mentorship lessons, guys, will continue tomorrow. So I think we'll do tomorrow's session tomorrow evening. So yeah, just watch the groups for more information. Thank you for the info, Luyanda. It's a pleasure. Mohammed07 says, guys, get the course. This guy is unlocked the codes. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Okay, but yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope it was informative for you all. Take it easy and have a blessed trading week ahead. Let's smash it again, and yeah, let's touch base later on in the week. Cool, guys.